John B. Realty, and with another session of Ask Doug. And today's question is about how you should handle as a property manager or an owner handling your tenants. So these are things that you should never consent to or never do. So I've assembled 4 things here, and I'll do it from the point of view of an owner or as a property manager, whoever's handling the rental. So the first one is, let's say the tenant asks, can you fix this or that? Can you paint this or that? Can you do some improvement? So let's say they're in for 6 months and it's a 1-year lease and they want something done. So as a property manager, you just need to make the decision. Don't call the owner and ask, should we do this? It just leads to potentially a continuous stream of things to do. So it behooves you to have the property in good condition from the get-go, from the start, so that these things don't come up. I'm not talking about repairs. I'm talking about improvements to the property. So as a property manager, remember, they hired you so that they don't have to deal with these things. So on the move out, you can evaluate what should be done. And as an owner, I guess you can make that decision because you're 100% involved. So yes or no, or maybe. All right, so that's one. What about the situation where the tenant asks to exchange services like repair for less rent? So I'll paint your entire place. I'll fix this room. I'll install this or that. Okay, so as a property manager, no, never. I've rarely seen it done well. If they paint it, they drip on everything. And maybe they don't even paint up to the edges. And maybe it's a funny color. The answer should be no. Don't get into it. And it's rarely, if ever, handled professionally, meaning that there should be a contract that specifically states everything that's going to be done, when it's going to be done by, what colors, what materials, just like you would if you hired someone to do the job. So that's why it never goes off correctly, hardly ever. So you might end up with the property even in worse condition than when it started, and then they're not paying rent, or they just delay and start it and never stop. Don't get into it. And if you're an owner, just say no, don't do it. It won't end well. All right, so that's 2. Number 3, what about the late payment? They're late on the monthly rent, and there's a penalty if they're not paid on time, 3 days late, 5 days, whatever it is. It's a first offense. Will you waive it? Well, as a property manager, no, never. It's the contract. You are hired to follow the contract. So you don't waive it. Same with the owner. The reason is because you gave slack once. It's going to probably happen again. And it gets later, it gets more. Don't do it. It's the contract. Just follow the contract. They agreed to it, you agreed to it. That's what it's about. Last one is the walkthrough. And it's at the very end when the lease is over. The tenant would like you to meet them and go over all the things in the home. Don't do it. Wait until they're moved out, they've handed over the keys, and they're no longer going back to the unit. The act of giving the keys is your, really essentially your official notification that they're done. It's over. They can't get back into it. You are in possession of the keys. Then you can go. You have 2 weeks to evaluate the property and check it out. The tenant is trying to hurry you through and find out about their security deposit, which they want back. But they're supposed to be done with everything. It should be in perfect shape, and if so, then they get the whole thing back. But you want to be able to go through at your leisure and look carefully. Open the oven. We often forget to do that, and see if it's clean or not. The dishwasher, the refrigerator, go through the cupboards, look at the walls, compare with your form, that property condition form, make sure everything is the same way or better. So don't walk through with the tenant, walk through alone and do it professionally, slowly, carefully, and make a determination. You can always call them back and show them something if something is amiss. So there you go. Those are just some things that you should never negotiate or do with a tenant. Hope that helps, and I hope that was interesting for you. All right, there you go. Another session of Ask Doug. Thanks.